Hey everybody, it's Tim here again, and today we are going to make some lemon cookies. This is an especially good recipe. It's not extremely lemony, and it's still got this good, sweetness, but you can still taste the lemon. It's just not overpoweringly lemony, and it's one of the reasons I like it so much. It's almost like a lemony butter cookie or something. And so let's get started. I've had to write my recipe down here, so if you forgive me if I keep looking down. But we're going to start with 1 3/4 cups all-purpose flour. This, you should sift it. It makes the cookies a little more light and airy. And to that, we are going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Allow it to rise. And then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, we're going to mix that up. And so, what we're doing here, like most cookies, we are mixing up the dry ingredients separate from the wet, and then we'll combine them at the end. But I think that's good enough there. All right, so then we're going to go over here to this mixer bowl here. And in here I have 2 sticks of butter. I would say probably use unsalted butter. Just because we already have salt in our flour and things, and we don't want to over salt. But 2 sticks or 1/2 pound, whichever you prefer. And then we're just going to take that, and you're going to use our mixer, and we're going to kind of just cream the butter. Do that slowly. And once that's and by the way, that butter you want to be room temperature. But once that's had a chance to cream up a bit, just start slowly dumping in 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. And you want to just kind of cream those together. Do it slowly, otherwise your mixer might get a little bogged down. Oops. Honestly, you might slow this down just a little bit. And you do want to make sure this gets thoroughly mixed. Otherwise, you'll just have bites of pure butter in your cookie, and that would be weird. Okay, let's stop that, and then we're gonna just kind of use the spatula on the edges just to make sure everything has been thoroughly mixed up. We're going to run it for another second or so here. All right. And then once that's mixed up, you take 1 egg and throw it into the mixer. Let that all mix up there. Again, make sure that gets thoroughly mixed up. And while we're waiting on that, I have lost my zester. Here, we'll use this one. All right, so we're gonna want the zest of 1 lemon. So you just take your lemon and run it across your zester. Make sure you wash this beforehand because you don't know who's handled it. Make sure you get plenty of zest, because that's what gives it the good flavor, a good lemony flavor. Turn this off for just a second. Probably should have zested this lemon beforehand, but oh well. Gives us time to relax. Another one of the reasons that I particularly like this recipe is because I'm just a little, I don't want to say allergic, but sensitive to lemon. And this one isn't overpowering, and so I don't get, a lot of the runny nose and kind of weird swelling issues that I sometimes get. All right, I think we got enough zest there. Good enough. So once you're done with yours, a little bit more left on there. Yeah, don't leave any of the zest. You want to get that into your cookies. All right, now once we're have enough zest, we're just going to take that and pop it in the mixer. Lots of good lemony flavor there. And we'll just turn that back on, let it slowly mix. Now, we want to, the juice of the lemon too. So, let me grab a knife. Look, I forgot a knife already. Give me just a second here. We're just gonna cut this lemon in half and squeeze all the juice out of it. If you have a juicer, it's a really, much easier way to do it, but I don't have one, so here we go. And you should probably use some kind of sieve or, some kind of filter, because there are seeds in lemons, and you don't want a seed, accidentally getting into your cookies. But squeeze it a lot, and just turn it around in your hand, and keep on squeezing, because there's tons and tons of juice in lemons. And you don't want to miss out on any of it. Plus, they're kind of expensive in the grocery store. Get your value's worth. All right, so there's our lemon juice. I'd say that's about, probably about 1/4 of a cup, but it's going right into the mixture here in the mixer. So let that keep on mixing. Let me rinse off my hand real quick. And all right, so I'm just gonna let that mix up. One thing you could add in here, these cookies, they don't have a particularly yellow flavor or yellow appearance. And so you could add, a few drops of food coloring if you wanted to be really yellow and lemony looking, but I don't see the point. So I think that's about as mixed up as it's going to be. I don't want it to start falling apart. All right, so next we are going to start slowly adding in the dry ingredients. And so, add, I don't know, half a cup at a time, even a third, I guess. But, just do it slowly so that you don't, overpower or make flour fly everywhere, which I'm well known for. Okay, so here we go. Let that mix up. A little more. And a little more. Now we're going to throw in the rest of it. We're going to mix that up for just a minute. One thing, you don't want to overmix. About a minute, maybe 2 or at the most 3. Because you overmix, you lose a lot of that sort of fluffiness to the cookie. All right, let's turn that off. Let's see where we are. Here's my little spatula. Yeah, I think it needs to mix just a little more, just to combine a few ingredients, but it's just about there. Uh-oh. All right. So there's that. Let me get the spatula and pull some of this off this paddle here. And I'll take the paddle off and pull out the bowl. All right. Now, how we, can't remember. There we go. Why isn't this? I think it's stuck. There we go. All right. Now here's our bowl of, going the wrong direction. Here's our bowl of dough. And so what we need to do is grab some plastic wrap. And I think I'm going to use this bowl and just kind of lay the plastic wrap in it. And then just kind of spoon all this dough into the plastic wrap, because we're going to have to refrigerate it so it can get hard. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to eating any leftover dough in the bowl, because I really like cookie dough. They say it's not particularly safe to eat just raw cookie dough, but you gotta live a little. All right. I think we're just about there. Okay, so now we're going to wrap it up. Wrap it up pretty tight, form it into a kind of a ball if you want. I mean, that doesn't matter that much. But just make sure it's wrapped up really tight, airtight, and then you put it in the fridge for about half an hour. And I will be back when this is ready to go. All right, everybody, I am back, and it's been about half an hour, and the dough is hardened up a bit. I've got the oven preheating to 350, and so what we're going to do is just take about tablespoon-sized little balls of this dough. I'm going to roll it up in my hands. You could use some kind of handled thing, the kind of like an ice cream scoop, a little cookie scoop, if you wanted to, but I'm not too concerned about making everything uniform, so I'm just going to put them here on my pan and call it a night. These almost feel like I could just bounce them on the floor like a little bouncy ball. And you want to make sure you space them out a little bit, because they do, go flat just like any cookie would. Rolling, rolling, rolling. If your dough gets too soft, you can just put it back in the fridge for a few minutes and until it gets hard enough again. Sometimes, especially in a hot kitchen, if you got the oven on and things like that, it does soften up pretty quickly. But I'm gonna make this work. It's a little too soft, but it'll be okay for now. By the way, this dough, this ball of dough, it'll make about 2 dozen cookies, maybe a little more, depending on the size. All right, so there we go. I'm going to wait on the oven to finish preheating before I put these in there. But I'm going to pop this dough back in the fridge so that it can, be hardening up again. And then, so you put them in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, until they get that kind of just slightly golden, consistency. And then you pull them out, put them on a cookie rack, and then you just wait them to cool and you can eat them. But we will be right back after some of these are finished, and I'll see you then. All right, everybody. So I just pulled these out of the oven, and they looks like they're ready to go. And so I'm just gonna move them over to this cookie cooling rack here. And they're very soft, like a cloud. They're a little warm, but I can move them over with my hands. Just have to be careful because they'll fall apart. All right, time to try one. like I said, these are the best cookies because they're not too lemony. They just have like a faint lemon taste, and there's not a ton of sugar in them, but they are at least sweet. You know, good for people who just aren't into the ultra sweet, you know, or ultra lemony type stuff. Forgive me while I eat the rest of this one. All right. So that's that. Like, subscribe, comment, you know, all that stuff. And until next time, goodbye.